There's a different impression when you're on a trip because the brands that you come in contact with they're not brands that you're encountering in the mundane, life that just goes on,
Right.
and you're going to work and you're picking up the kids. But
Right.
when you're traveling,
It makes a
when you
different
experience
impression.
a brand, you remember it because you tie it back to that trip. And,
Exactly.
yeah, so it's a higher value impression, I would say. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Ad Podcast. We are taping live here at the Possible Show in beautiful Miami, California. We have Kevin Bidner, who's the CEO of Hotel Communications Network, an exciting new retail media network inside of hotels around the world. Kevin, thanks for coming on, spending a little bit of time with us.
Thank you, Dylan. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Hotel Communication Network and what brought you guys to Possible this year.
Okay. Hotel Communication Network is installing tablet computers into hotel rooms at the bedside, replacing the phone, clock, TV remote, room controls, creating a portal to the hotel for communication and guest services, and a portal to the city. So that you can find and get what you want easily and transact and put it in your digital wallet. On the network, we're launching something called Valet, V-A-L-A-I, your personal concierge while you travel.
Wow, very cool.
And Valet you get introduced to in the room.
And then you take it with you when you leave.
Take it with you. And Valet can help you buy a ticket, set up an itinerary, send it to your phone, and then when you're out in the city, change your mind, have a question, you've got your personal assistant with you.
Interesting.
So, the big game changer here is advertising, because advertising can pay for the tablets. Tablets have been in hotels for 10 years now.
Yeah, but they're a cost for the hotel versus a profit center.
Yeah, a big cost, which you now see them only in 5-star resorts, higher end properties. You really don't find tablets at the 4-star and 3-star level where the bulk of the travel industry is.
Exactly.
And today's travelers, are the vast majority are millennials.
Yeah, I think there was a statistic that the millennials are the most traveled generation since they've been measuring. They take more trips than anybody
More
in
trips,
history.
spend more, and also travel very differently.
Yeah.
Millennials love individualized, unique, localized experiences.
They want to live like a local. They don't want to
find those nooks and
go to
crannies.
the Eiffel Tower.
Well, maybe that too,
but maybe in a different way, like via private tour, see it in a way that is different. Yeah.
And especially finding those local, specialty restaurants and shops and attractions that might be off the beaten path. And we have a very specific business model that will give us that kind of information. Number one, partnering with the local Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Smart.
It's their information. Second of all, employing local concierges. Concierges have been put out of work.
Yeah.
There's a whole, in every city, a whole teams of concierges looking for work that have that expertise.
Wow.
Because the 4-stars after COVID did not hire concierges back.
Interesting.
They're only at the 5-stars now.
Yep.
Plus, when you're in a 4-star room, we used to have a concierge in a big hotel. You don't anymore.
Yeah.
Not that millennials really like going up to and waiting at a concierge desk.
Yeah.
So here you have this beautiful scalable technology fed with the same information, able to deliver it easily, and then create that transaction, walking tour, or walking map, etc., and just send it to your phone and go with it out into the city. That's the future of travel.
Yep.
And the concept of the Hotel Communication Network is to roll out free to the hotel industry in the millions of rooms. So there have been 2 previous mass rollouts in the hotel industry. In-room movies in the 80s. They were there, you saw them in a few downtown hotels one year, and the next year they were everywhere. Why? Because the hotels didn't have to invest, and they got a profit share. The movies made money. Then you saw internet, Wi-Fi do the same thing 15 years later, and here we are 15 years later again with the third big rollout, which is tablets. And because of advertising, we don't have to charge the hotels. They can actually make a profit.
Yeah,
we pay the hotels to install.
It's pretty exciting.
And the advertising's targeted, so it's appreciated by the guests, not resented.
Yeah, it's not interruptive to their experience. It actually enhances it.
Exactly. Yeah. There's also experiential marketing available. Samples, perfumes, soaps, alcohol,
Yeah.
non-alcoholic
Like
beverages.
I'm running out of toothpaste already on this trip. If I could hit I know that I've showed up at a hotel before, and you call down to room service, and hey, I'm missing my razor.
Yeah, they'll send
and
it
then
up.
they'll send a little Bic, no brand, cheap one. But then one time I was staying at a Hilton in San Francisco, and they sent up a Harry's razor. I was like, wow, this is a
got
really
you
nice
for life
razor.
on that one.
And it was, it was a trial opportunity, and
Exactly.
I kept with it. Yeah. for
Good
sure.
marketing on Harry's part.
Yeah.
And that's the
And
concept
Hilton's,
here,
yeah.
and Hilton's part.
Yeah.
So that's the concept here for experiential marketing, where a brand can put a free sample in the room at a moment that matters. You're just starting your first day of holiday, or you're just decompressing after a long day of travel. You're going to remember that drink.
Yeah.
And so
there's
those
a
are-
different impression when you're on a trip, because the brands that you come in contact with they're not brands that you're encountering in the mundane, life that just goes on,
Right.
and you're going to work and you're picking up the kids. But
Right.
when you're traveling,
It makes a
when you
different
experience
impression.
a brand, you remember it because you tie it back to that trip. And,
Exactly.
so it's a higher value impression, I would say.
And the other part of it is the called digital out of home, the billboard marketing,
Yeah.
the screensaver. Big difference is it's sitting right beside the bed. It's super visible. Number two, it's clickable.
Ooh, yeah.
So you don't really have digital out of home, that's clickable.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hybrid,
Yeah.
and making it uniquely valuable.
That's interesting. So talk about rollout. What kind of scale do you guys have, and how fast can you scale?
So we're just crossing 40,000 rooms right now.
Wow.
We're about to start rolling with one of the big major brands. And we would expect by this time next year to be over 100,000 rooms, and then a year later, 250,000, 2 years later in the millions.
Yep, and each of those rooms creates, every time it turns over, that's a new user added to the system if they
Exactly
engage.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other part of it is the Valet concept of the personal concierge. Then you're our member, then we have your personal information. Then advertising and content becomes personally targeted,
Yeah.
much more relevant. So
Yeah.
that's the second stage of this. Introduce the guest to the whole concept in the guest room, but then become our customer and have your personal concierge that you can travel with forever.
Yeah, that's interesting. So is the user experience, I basically open up the AI concierge, I give it some information of what I like, it recommends some restaurants, some coffee shops, some things to see, then I download that to my phone, and
Right.
then I essentially need to install the app in order to take it with me out of the room. And
Not
now,
necessarily.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
there's appless, so you can just get it to your phone without downloading anything via QR code. And then when you want to make it a permanent part of your life, then you download the app and become a member.
Interesting.
So you buy a ticket, send it to your phone, put it in your Apple Wallet. You don't necessarily need to download the app.
Yeah, that's smart. I think it's really interesting that you're going after the local tourism bureaus as kind of the portal to feed the recommendation engine, because obviously there's an SMB play, but that takes a lot of work. That's a lot of vendor management. That's a lot of curation and editing. And the local DMOs have such a wide knowledge of everything that's happening. They've got a partner network that's already opted in.
Right.
They've
They're already
got
doing
members. They've got budget to market because they charge a room occupancy tax, so they're financed by the state legislature. And it seems like that's a really great portal into feeding the data. So how have the DMOs responded to the idea so far?
Everyone loves it.
I could imagine.
And here's the thing. First
And they
of
could
all,
also match their campaigns. They could literally port their campaign. Like we did I'm in travel media as well, and we did a campaign for Las Vegas, where Las Vegas was trying to break down the stereotype of it being a high roller environment. And the campaign was do Vegas and $100 a day or less. And you could essentially feed that campaign into the system, but then make all the the locations that were featured essentially
make it
shoppable.
interactive.
Yeah, make it shoppable.
Yeah. So here's the thing with DMOs and CVBs, with a tablet, with a portal, two-way communication, broadcast. CVB gets a third of the out-of-home digital billboard space. Every third screensaver is the DMOs to use, and they don't pay for it.
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
That's a no-brainer.
We give them the tablet as their asset in the rooms, free.
Yep.
right? So they make money on it when they sell advertising on that, and it gives them a footprint in the room right where the guest lives. It's never been that kind of exposure before. What it does for us is it allows us to scale up quickly. I don't have to hire salespeople, content library management people, photographers. DMOs already have it all.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect partnership, and as we've already signed up a bunch of them, and we're just starting that rollout now.
I love it. You talked about something that's really interesting, which is content. Obviously, with a tablet, you've got interactivity and you've got the opportunity for video. Travel influencers are a huge thing.
Yep.
Every city has their own influencers.
Yep.
Like in San Diego, we've got, date night Oceanside, a couple that all they do is review things to do to go on dates for locals.
Yep.
And a lot of hotels these days have a mandate to engage with their local community. They're not just trying to market to visitors, they're trying to market to locals to come in and use the restaurant, use the spa, play golf, use a third-party app to rent a cabana at a pool. Are you thinking about ways to engage local community in addition to travelers?
Well, our outreach is really anchored in the guest room, so it's travelers that we are looking to kind of connect to and help.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say our mandate...
Because the locals already kind of have that institutional knowledge of what's cool and what's trendy
also,
and fun in their neighborhoods.
If you look at the defining differentiator of HCN versus any kind of app that you can download, it's our presence it's the hardware in the guest room.
Yeah.
We're putting an infrastructure in at a very high cost.
Yeah.
That is the differentiator. So it actually acts as a magnet for the incoming travel community. If we're in every room in a city, we transform that city's travel experience. That's the goal of HCN, and that's what we were set up to do.
Yeah.
So, we've been at this now. We actually did our first pilot 20 years ago.
Interesting.
Overnight success, right?
They always are, right?
And then 15 years ago, we started the company, and then that was before tablets were even out. It was $1,000 a room, ridiculous. Tablets came in at around 2015, and we started the real rollout. That's still 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's taken that long to build up the scale, build up the foundations of the company, the product itself, the software, most importantly to attract the ad industry so that we can start the free rollout to the industry. So this is just at the point of emergence.
Yeah.
This is our first possible conference. So we're here to kind of set our roots in the ad industry that pays for the rollout. Hotels are happy and eager to adopt it because they get a share of the revenue. So,
and it's very adjacent to media businesses that, Marriott has their own retail media network now.
They do.
There's a lot of the big brands already have strategies around using their data and using their TV screens.
And this is another screen in the room.
Yeah,
and
it essentially doubles their inventory in a way.
Well, in a sense, it's much more than that because
it's interactive again.
Well, the tablets are always on.
Yeah.
TVs are not.
That's true. Yeah. I turned mine off because I couldn't turn the volume down in my room this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the volume down didn't work, so I'm like, all right, I guess I'm watching shows on my computer this week.
Yeah, a lot of people, the TVs don't even get on.
I know.
So, and that's a trend. TV use is declining.
Yeah, I feel like people, maybe they turn it on if it has VOD apps, they might log into their YouTube account or something like that. But they're, if they have to channel surf, they're out.
Right.
Yeah.
And the tablet is sitting beside the bed, percolating information into the room 15, 16 hours a day, all day long. Yeah. So it's a different medium, and it's definitely a perfect instrument for a media agency owned by a brand.
Yeah.
So we really see this as becoming part of the brand strategy of these major brands.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Well, if folks at home want to connect with you, learn more, where would you like to send them?
I'm sorry, to our website?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just here. Yeah. Would you go ahead and give it to the audience?
Yeah. So www.hcn-inc.com.
Perfect.
hcn-inc.com.
Love it. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dylan.
Cheers.